Yesterday we covered a little bit brief outline of what happened to Chibi. If you guys don't know, bro got swatted. Why? Well, there's a myriad of reasons. There isn't just one reason. It's a bunch of different things happening, and I think the straw that broke the camel's back recently was Chibi's outspokenness of how pro-ICE he is regarding the bullshit that's happening in America right now, right? As well as maybe some other lolly baiting. I don't know. Nicholas Light crashed out yesterday. He had a video. The stream went down. Luckily, we have a saved VOD and a clip. It's not really a clip. 25 minutes. There's a lot of things I think that's going to be good from this video, talking about general mindset, not just in terms of content creators, but just like how to behave in life and how to maybe avoid situations like this.
Yesterday, my boy, my good pal, my friend, Chibi Reviews, was swatted. Now, what does swatted mean? That means
SWAT team.
somebody, doesn't matter where in the world they are, but somebody called, I guess, the local police, wherever Chibi lives, and told the local police that they gotta go to Chibi's house. They gotta go to his house because he's doing something crazy. Not even joking, it happens. It's happened to somebody close to me. Somebody close to me got swatted. The cops were told that that person had children in their house and were raping those children. So the cops came.
So basically, if you have the identity of a person, if you have a person's full name and address regarding where Chibi lives, and again, this has to do with Chibi being online for too long. He's been doing content creation since, I don't even know how long ago, right? And he's young and he doesn't really understand what kind of bullshit he's going to get into. He leaked his address thinking people are going to be sending him gifts and presents, and you know, just like it's you should be using a PO box for that. He didn't use one, and now all this bullshit's happening. And when you call the law enforcement and says, hey, this guy's got a bomb, this is a terrorist, bro, and they're not going to take a double chance on it, of course they're going to go raid, and it's very dangerous, right? This happens to streamers a lot when their public and private information is leaked.
Running into that creator's house. Techie? No. It happened to Tectone too. I'm talking about something else. But yeah, it happened to Tectone too. Whatever you guys hate in the world, whatever your political views are, you know, we live in a very divided society. Not only in the country, but the world. We have the left, we have the right. We have who loves ICE, who hates ICE. Who likes Trump, who hates Trump. Who likes pronouns, who hates pronouns. Who liked that Charlie Kirk got shot, who loved or who hated that he got shot.
And people who love that Chibi got swatted and thinks that he deserved it, and people who don't, right? And again, this has to do with people being so divided on identity politics. I think that everybody literally has more in common with each other than they realize. But when you have secret spies from the Israeli state, no, I'm not talking Epstein, but honestly, the new documents that came out regarding the Epstein files and how they're fabricating culture wars so that I don't even know if I'm allowed to say some of the terminology. I feel like they're going to be classified as slurs right now. But the non-Jews, right? They are the ones that are being controlled. You used to think these things are just conspiracy theories. Like, what do you mean the Jews are controlling the world? But with some of the more documentation coming out where they're confidently and so blatantly just disclosing their intent on dividing the masses through identity politics, using right-wing grift or left-wing grift as the chaos lets them be more profitable, people get caught up in that. I mean, you look at who owns mass media, look at like people, it traces back to like Rothschild. This is turning into an actual fucking American conspiracy theory of the billionaire, secret billionaire hidden class of Illuminati shit. But it is. This is the symptom of it. And the more that people propagate such divisive talking points, I think the more issues will get worse. So right now, what's Chibi gonna say? I'm not gonna bend the knee. I'm not gonna censor myself. I will continue to be outspoken and be on the side of law enforcement to deport these illegal immigrants who are basically taking advantage of our country and our resources when it should be going to our locals instead. Now, that talking point sounds good if you present it that way, but most people don't present it that way. They present it in such a volatile way, and the other side basically wants to talk over that and say, look at this. This guy wants these thugs to be just killing people. They want, you know, children to be isolated from their families, for families to be spread apart. It's just all from racism from immigrants. And notice how, again, these talking points, at the end of the day, I think everyone just wants the basic necessities, right? to be able to put food on the table, to be able to provide a roof over your house, to be able to, provide for your family, right? I think the working class has a lot in common, but the more you get roped up into this identity culture, identity politics, woke culture bullshit, the worse it gets. And every time I come in here, what do? I try to give you a talking point from both perspective of how they're talking over each other and try to explain it in a more nuanced way where I think that the average well-intentioned person from either of the spectrum can understand where I'm coming from.
Now, I'm going to reveal something to you guys that really bothers me. It seems like one side, you'll be criticized, you'll be attacked, whatever. People on the opposite side will have opinions, and you'll fight online about it at worst. But then there's another side that will threaten your life, that will ruin your life, right? So let's be honest about something. You ready? You have people that liked that Charlie Kirk got shot, that fucking died.
You have people that like that, that Pretty guy got shot and died. You know what I mean?
Right? They're so happy that he died. You're safe. You're not going to be slaughtered for that opinion. At worst, you'll be criticized and called an evil person.
If you're an average person with no public following, you're not a content creator, you don't have a target on your back, right? I feel like if the average person that has no motion, no community, no, online presence and said the exact same thing that Chibi was saying, I don't think they would be going under the same shit. It's because it's Chibi saying it, specifically this person with their baggage over the past couple of years, that's why it's more significant for him.
But what if you liked Kirk? I'm not saying I did, hypothetically speaking. What if you're saying that you support and you're actually against what happened to him? You're actually putting your life at risk. You're putting your life at risk for having a different opinion. Now,
I don't like the argumentation here that only if you are a right-wing person will you have your life threatened for being outspoken. No, I don't agree that just left radicals are the one doxing, swatting, harassing, assaulting, whatever to right people. It literally is extreme people on both sides of the spectrum doing nasty shit to each other.
Now, let's take another situation. ICE. If you say you hate ICE, you're safe, right?
Well, it's not that you're safe, but that is the emotional appeal. When you say you hate ICE, I find ICE deplorable, right? They're a bunch of fucking thugs out there just fucking shooting up people and destroying families. That's a very ignorant way of presenting ICE. In my opinion, they're very unprofessional and trigger happy. They are law enforcement because people voted Trump in to handle the border control. This is what happens again when you have such an incompetent political parties where the system is specifically designed to have two sides, left wing and right wing, but it's of the same bird. And nothing really changes for the average person. Yet they basically instill upon you the fear that your lives are getting worse, blah, blah, blah. Immigrants are taking your jobs, housing market's fucking crashing. It's the right's fault, it's the left's fault. And then they keep voting in new people, but the problem gets worse. And then the new people has solutions that's even worse. So again, with the ICE stuff, I acknowledge that they're law enforcement and they're doing their job, but I think they're doing it in such an unprofessional, untrained way where it blows my mind that they think that they need to just fucking shoot to kill rather than fucking shoot to serve the public people. Now, I'm not saying shoot to serve the immigrant, but like if your gut instinct because someone rammed into you is to fucking put 3 bullets into the woman, that's kind of crazy. In any other country but America, right? I don't think this shit would be happening because America is riddled with what? Mental health issues and a crazy accessibility to guns and a culture where it's like, oh, my life is at risk. On a spectrum of a 1 to 10, the girl ramming her car to get out of there into the law enforcement, yeah, it's fucked up. Was his life actually in danger? It's up to you to decide that, right? In my opinion, she was swerving hard right to flee, which is, again, is illegal. You shouldn't be doing that. But if your default gut instinct is to fucking pump 4 bullets into her, that's kind of crazy to me. But in terms of this rule set in the game that we play, of it, your life being threatened, on a spectrum of 1 to 10, I call it a 2 out of 10, but it still lands. Therefore, you have the right to shoot now. That's what happened there. For the Pretty incident, I think it's much different. But overall, I'm trying to say that there are way more details and nuances when it comes to ICE, but many people don't communicate their thoughts well enough. And most people's tweets also just have limited characters. They can't put their full ideas online. And on top of that, many people don't care about having actual conversations. They don't care about like basically confronting the ideals, but rather they just jump into, nah, this a fucking leftist cuck, bro. Nah, this just a right-wing Nazi, bro. And nothing gets solved and things get worse. And I'm guaranteeing you, bro, as the system exists as it does now, it'll only get worse and worse.
I'm not talking about protesting in the street, spitting on people, destroying government vehicles and shit. I'm talking about online. If your opinion online is that you hate ICE, generally, you know, you'll have right-wingers attacking you for that.
Yeah, I think there is a lot more chuds coming out of the woodsheds as I see the Overton window shift. The political spectrum definitely has shifted. Elon taking over Twitter definitely was a huge turning point in how they were censoring right-leaning opinions. These people have always been there, but over many, many years, they've definitely been censored of that. I'm not saying left is good, right is bad, or right is good, left is bad. But now there is more momentum on right-leaning ideologies. And I don't blame new people getting radicalized or even incentivized to take on those right-leaning points. Even myself, right? I used to be very left-leaning, but seeing the incompetence of the world and my pragmatism, I'm starting to definitely pick more right-leaning talking points. Doesn't mean you identify as a right-leaning person or a left-leaning person. I think the moment that you already kind of described your team jersey, right? You're like, you've basically made up your mind. I think that everyone should be able to critically think and look at an instant without being bound by some sort of political spectrum and think using your own judgment, rational thinking skills, what is the correct solution and not be bound by the political spectrum. Right now, when you say you hate ICE, it is a relatively more easier talking point because there is an emotional appeal against that. ICE, every clip that you see, they're shooting up people. You can say it's justified, you can say it's not, but it doesn't matter because most people, when they see that, their hearts are crying. It's an emotional appeal. That's why it's a safe thing to say that.
That opinion, at worst you'll be told, leave the country then, right? At worst. But let's say you support ICE, like dear friend Chibi over.
I think that if anyone such as Chibi, let's say there was a left-wing grifter. I'm not saying Chibi is a right-wing grifter, but let's say there was someone like Chibi in the left wing that was very vocal about their dissent against ICE. I mean, you see Hassan, you see other people like that too, right? I think they would get swatted. It's just that regarding Chibi, he's captured by these schizo fucking haters and they have their private information. I guarantee you, if Chibi was in a better situation where he protected his private information and relocated, it wouldn't be the same.
Here. You know what they do to you? They find where you live, they call the local police, putting your life at fucking risk, almost getting you assassinated, all because you have an opinion. That is why. All because you have an opinion.
But it's more than that, because a lot of people have opinions, right? And I don't think, again, this would have happened to Chibi if he was way more careful with his private information.
Fuck Trump, not gonna lie. You're allowed that opinion, and I'm not gonna assassinate you for having that opinion.
He will assassinate the director of One Punch Man Season 3, though. How could he do this?
But what if, hypothetically speaking, I say I love Trump? Not saying I do. I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, I'm more at risk of getting killed for having...
There's definitely radical people on the left that will try to bring you down. The more that you have your private information, not classified, just basically not public, the better you'll handle that, right? But again, it's not just any type of person. It's specifically the baggage that you've carried. Nicholas Light is also the same. He's cut from the same cloth, just like Chibi, even Tectone too. All of them have nasty baggage from the past due to them engaging in negative engagement. That's why it's such a double-edged sword. Whenever you handle with controversy, there are consequences that will come from it, right? And it's a lingering smell. Any new person that just says these talking points, they're not going to have any issues. But it's specifically because of the type of person they are. And then they said those things. That's why they get in shit. And I think the exact same thing would happen to their counterparts on the other side of the political spectrum. I don't agree with the argumentation that this is a left-specific issue that swats or even, does extreme behaviors to the right. It happens between the radicals from both sides of the spectrum.
Opinions like that. That's what's going on with Chibi. Now listen, I don't give a fuck what you think of Chibi. You're gonna lose 50% of viewership. See, that's the difference.
And you know what? Good. Get the fuck out of my face, right? If it doesn't matter what the opinion is, but the moment that you're bending who you are to appease people that don't even care about you, that's a ticking time bomb. Mask is gonna slip. You're captured by our audience.
That's the difference. One side is clearly out of their fucking minds. Clearly out of their fucking minds. Because
this, again, is very dangerous rhetoric. All this is going to do is now incentivize more people to be nasty to each other. Nicholas Light, I think, has great intentions, yet he's being captured by the same system of identity politics. These are, again, talking points that Epstein literally wants you to be making. Yup, I'm just gonna say it. The more that we are, the common person is divided, saying it's your side, it's your fault, your other fault, without being able to contextualize what's happening at scale, the more of these problems arise, right? Again, this is another gear turning in the system.
Why is it that I could have friends and family that support different politics? I have family that love Trump.
Yeah.
I have family that love Biden. I have family that fucking hate Trump, that want him dead.
Sure.
Right? I have friends that watch Hassan. I have friends that watch Asmongold. Guess what? They are still my family. They are still my friends. I still respect them because
at the end of the day, grown adults can have differences, but understand that as long as you have good intentions, right, you can get along, right? Just because someone is a racist person in my friend group, am I going to cut them off? It really depends on the context, right? But I think that the moment that you're just blowing up bridges based off of a purity test, that's not going to solve anything. You become more and more segregated. You need bridges and you need well-intentioned people that's willing to engage in an honest conversation to be relatable. You can't have that. You segregate and then you become isolated and it becomes more divisive.
I'm a normal person. You know, I have friends.
You are not a normal person. I'm not a normal person. We're monsters, Nick. You come on. Have a bit of we are not normal people. We're fucking schizos online.
That didn't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. I have friends that their lives were changed because of that. And I get along with everybody.
Sure.
Until you disrespect me, I won't disrespect you.
Okay.
That is the code that I live by. You know, this whole situation last night with Chibi Reviews scared the fucking shit out of me. Because this wouldn't happen to somebody that says fuck ICE. This wouldn't happen to somebody that says fuck Trump.
I think this logic is very flawed because there are a lot of people who are pro-ICE who are even more vocal and have a bigger platform than Chibi Reviews. Asmongold, for example. Does he get swatted? No, because he handles his security and privacy way better. Thank you, Dragon King, for the 7 months, sorry. Appreciate that, man, right? So again, right, there are even more bigger creators that may even be actually doing right-wing grifting that has talking points even more volatile than Chibi. I think what Chibi said is actually quite lukewarm. In fact, he presented his ideas about ICE pretty well. I think the tweet said something like, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am pro-ICE. And then he talks about the issues about the border control and the illegal immigrants and how he wants to prioritize American citizens first. That is a very pragmatic solution. He did not jeer on saying, fuck around and find out. You know, immigrants, aliens blown the fuck out, you know, rip bozo. He didn't do that. Asmongold does that. So why is he not getting swatted and basically worse shit happening when he clearly has a scale that is 100 times bigger than Chibi? I'm talking YouTube viewership straight up. Bro is averaging 100 million views up north and even more right-wing spectrum. Because again, this single instance does not capture the reality of the situation.
This wouldn't happen to somebody that has flags and pronouns in their fucking names. It happens to somebody like this because it's an opinion that the other side doesn't agree with. And I'm sorry, guys.
I disagree.
Whether you're left or right, maybe you don't give a fuck about politics. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I do not care. I do not care. I have my own beliefs. I have my own political, religious, worldview beliefs.
Sure.
A lot of y'all might disagree with a lot of my religious, political, worldview beliefs. And that's fine. That is fine. Why did you delete all your tweets?
Here we go. The accusations has to do with Tectone, right?
I'm going to answer that right now. And I'm going to give you guys an honest answer. And anybody that wants to farm this fucking situation,
that's me, baby.
Fuck you as well.
Come on, you knew I'd be farming. You wanted me to farm the video.
Seriously, this is a serious situation where a content creator almost fucking died because of drawings. Listen, you guys can hate Chibi Reviews all you want because he's obsessed with drawings. And he tweets about lollies every now and then, maybe every day. I don't think that's enough to want the motherfucker assassinated.
Agreed.
At worst, you could hate the dude. But to send a SWAT team to his fucking house? Are we serious?
Yeah, because there's schizos online that have these weird parasocial relationships attached to a content creator, and if your public information is out there, private information is public, then yeah, they're gonna do it. That's literally what happens.
Are we fucking serious? Are we crazy?
They are
And
crazy.
you want me to take your political beliefs and the flags in your bio and the pronouns in your bio seriously? How the fuck could I take you seriously? How?
But now you're doing the same thing of being radicalized off of an outlier case. Not everyone with pronouns in bio or have left-leaning ideologies would resort to such behavior. I'm sure there's a lot of people that condemn this behavior, even though they hate Chibi, right? But again, the more that you like incite this rhetoric saying it's a one-directional thing only, I think that this is very reductive. I know that Nick has very good intent and is very passionate about Chibi, but he's kind of like, do you know the term wearing your heart on his sleeve, like a bleeding leftist? There's a very common stereotype, especially within like suburban middle-aged white women who, you know, live in this nice middle-class environment but are so out of touch, and they see like clips of like immigrants being taken away from ICE without understanding the full context, right? And then they start crying, right? It's like called bleeding heart liberals. Nicholas is kind of like that on the other spectrum, where he is having a bleeding heart moment right now for Chibi, and he should. What happened is fucked up, but again, this rhetoric I think will cause even bigger target on his back. He's not able to pragmatically kill the emotions and think about what's really happening at scale, and fixates on this one example and then paints one tribe of people as bad. This again adds oil to the fire.
How the fuck could I take your belief seriously when this is what you're able to do? I'm sorry, guys. You can.
I do agree that there are a lot of weird people that have pronouns and flags in bio. In fact, we've already gone into that and looked at the insanity that is the Gachiakuta fandom within the radical feminists. They're ridiculous. They try to drag a guy for posting a fucking meme about Rudo hitting Amo because Amo tried to kill him and the fucking friends. They're insane, right? Absolutely, people with pronouns and bios and flags are susceptible to that, just like anybody, right? But the moment that you generalize a tribe of people off of the bad faith actors and then paint a narrative is when things get even worse.
You could hate me for my beliefs and my opinions. I wouldn't do this to somebody. I'm not gonna dock somebody. I'm not gonna hurt somebody. At worst, I'll have an opinion on One Punch Man animation. Wow. Maybe I'll have some opinions that people don't agree with. Like, I personally believe if you're illegally inside of a country, you shouldn't be in the country, whether that's America, Japan.
I agree. Yeah. And this is the issue. Weak border control and a government that doesn't care about that, letting illegal immigrants come in and fostering a family. Now you have multiple generations of people illegally living there, and now ICE is coming in to kick them out, and you see families being ripped apart. It's fucked up. I know. Like, how nasty is that families are being ripped apart and children are crying, right? If you don't think that's fucked up, I think you are genuinely insane in the head. But at the same time, when you kill the emotion and look at it pragmatically, this is the solution to a problem. They should have never been here in the first place. Yeah, they have integrated into community, but still, it has been off of illegal premises. I'm not here to talk about colonizers and like people taking over America's land. A lot of people will say this is stolen land. There is no, no privilege that you have. That's ridiculous. I think you are so insane if you're really going to that logic. There are limited resources, and the locals are getting fucked. They vote in Trump, and Trump wants ICE to handle this issue. Whether you think the resources being scarce or not is all fabricated, I don't care. But this is how people are thinking. Again, you let a problem fester, you let it rot, and then an even insane solution comes in. It's going to get worse. And the more that you engage in this type of behavior, generalizing, radicalizing, using bad faith actors, painting a narrative off of one group of people, shit's going to get worse. There is no solutions here, literally. And it's a beautiful system. Literally, the more I think about the system at play, whether or not Epstein and the secret, the Illuminati, the Rothschild, Israel, whatever, right? If their goal truly was to create this divisive team sports of political spectrum, left and right, man, it is a beautiful system. It's fucked up. It's monstrous, but the system works so well. It captures people and they think that they're righteous. Everyone thinks that they're righteous in their own way. and there are no solutions. They just add on to the problem. It's crazy.
And doesn't matter where the fuck it is. You don't break into somebody's home and try to make it your own home. How is that controversial? Let's read this super chat. What happened with Chibi is messed up. Nobody should be swatted, but let's not pretend only pro-ICE people get punished for having
True.
that opinion. People like Hassan have been swatted plenty, and he hates ICE. It's not only one side.
Yeah.
Do you hear what Hassan says?
What?
When he calls for the assassination of senators, when he literally interviews terrorists on his platform. So when you say shit like that, when you're actually platforming hate and to kill people, and you're dealt with that, listen, I'm gonna say something crazy, but I believe if you're a pedophile, if you're a rapist, if you're a terrorist supporter, and you get fucking swatted, I'm not gonna feel this way. I'm not gonna feel bad. But for
an actual rapist, pedophile getting swatted, yeah, absolutely, that's fucked up. Yeah, they should get fucked up. The argument taken here of Nick towards Hassan, though, he hates Hassan, and he can't kill the emotions and see it in a pragmatic lens. Did he have a terrorist on stream? It was like a terrorist sympathizer. At the end of the day, terrorist, again, is a very relative term in terms of oppressors versus the oppressed. A group of people who are basically, trying to have a revolution, right? A group of people who are marginalized and oppressed and rising up against that. To the people in control, they call that terrorism. But the two people that are the oppressed, they call it revolutionaries, right? So again, I know that like Nick hates Hassan, but even then, like to discount that, I think Hassan is a great example of somebody that has talking points on the other spectrum. He does radicalize. He does incite, I think implies violence. He wants shit to get done. He might not explicitly say it, but I think it's very coded in, right? Again, he's towing the line just like Chibi. I think Hassan, again, has a way bigger crowd. And I think Hassan is a great example for the other side of the coin. I think Asmongold will be another great example for the same side, but even more exemplified, yet doesn't get harassed like that. Why? Because the security and the privacy details is a lot more locked in.
Somebody like Chibi Reviews, can you tell me one crazy thing Chibi Reviews has done? We're not talking.
He hasn't done anything actually fucking crazy. The $17,000 lawsuit scandal, again, is the benefit of the doubt. I am willing to believe him. I think that basically, people want to portray him as a pedophile because of lolicon fictional content. People want to portray him as an incestual groomer because of his love for incest and anime. People want to strip away the humanity of a person to call them demons so that they can basically then treat them not like humans. And that's what's happening with Chibi.
Talking about stupid shit. We're not talking about senseless shit. We're not talking about drawings, right? We're not talking about lollies. We're talking about serious fucking shit. Does he call for the death of people? Does he threaten people's lives? He goons to anime. Wow, what a fucking criminal.
In the argument of does he call for the death of people, Hassan implies through coded message, Asmongold literally will say, yeah, these people deserve to die. Why? Because they got in the way of law enforcement and they are even being lethal against them. For example, if you are throwing a brick at law enforcement, the idea is that the brick can be lethal if thrown at the head. Therefore, you should be shot back. It's a very extreme example. But that, again, is another very towing the line argumentation where you have call to violence against people that deserves violence in their own mind, right? So again, there are other examples on the same spectrum or even a different spectrum that get away. Because why? Chibi is exposed. It's that simple.
In my day, when we trash talk people, we would say to people, at worst, the N-word, right? But not only that, but also we would say, I fucked your mom. And guess what? I fucked your dad too. At worst. Nowadays, you're called a rapist, a pedophile, a Nazi, a racist, homophobic, transphobic. What else are you called? For having an opinion. You're assassinated for having a fucking opinion. So you know why I deleted my tweets this time? Because I've done this multiple times. I am done tweeting out my opinions.
Okay.
From now on, if you want my opinion, you're going to give me ad revenue. You're going to watch my videos or come.
I think it's smarter that way, especially for someone like Nick that has already that baggage. I don't know how long it's gonna last. A lot of people will say it's very convenient. People like this, for example, right? So this is a tweet of a person that despises Nicholas Light, and he's trying to create this narrative that he did it because of the pro Tectone content. I think that if Nick is more public about Tectone again after this deletion, it kind of, I guess, will be hypocritical or contradictory. But at the same time, if I was in Nicholas Light's shoes, and all the outspoken things about Tectone is something I would want to hide if I was Nicholas Light, because the court of public opinion definitely is swaying towards Tectone is a fucking creepy, bald, wouldn't say rapist, but definitely sexual harasser, stalker. It's not looking good. So for him to conveniently wipe out all the tweets during this Chibi incident, I think is something that would happen. I'm not, again, it's like collateral sweeping, you know what I mean? There doesn't need to be one specific reason. There could be a multitude of reasons, and I'm sure it was convenient to also delete these tweets with this cleansing because of Chibi doxing stuff.
To the streams, and you are gonna give me motherfucking ad revenue. On Twitter, when I give my opinions, it's farmable. Not only for content creators,
true,
but for Twitter accounts, it's farmable, right? The anime community generally hates people that become popular in the anime reaction field. The second you have a critical take, they hate you. You could go.
Nah, I'd say that there's a correlation with the more popular you become, the more haters you will have. 1% of 100 is 1. 1% of 1,000 is 10. 1% of 10,000 is 100. A simple percentage as 1% that you would find insignificant, when you scale that up to 100,000 to 1,000,000, that's a lot of people. But even then, there are creators who don't get in trouble like Nicholas Light that is on his motion, such as your boy Roshi. They're outspoken too, they talk a lot. It's not about being outspoken, it's about the words that you're saying when you are speaking.
Play shit forever. But the second you have a critical, controversial take, you're called a retarded anime reaction channel. You only watch it because it makes you money. So fuck the anime community.
I think this again is very reductive. It again paints a bigger target on his back. Again, just because you get popular doesn't mean you get shit on. You are most likely going to get more shit on, but you're going to have more glaze too. That's just how numbers work.
Worry about and care about my own community.
Smart.
Or at least fuck the Twitter anime community. All right? Fuck the Twitter anime community.
The Twitter anime community definitely have come to realize that Nicholas Light is very annoying. And why is that? Well, the One Punch Man Season 3 shit, definitely. There's been a baggage of Nicholas Light haters in the past before he did anime reaction content that's still around. And every time he gets into new drama, you have that baggage piled on with new people realizing who he is. And then old receipts coming out regarding his controversies and more people hating on him. Again, it's a compounding effect. And definitely during the One Punch Man scandal, his refusal to separate the animators from the problem definitely got even more shit. So again, this is the consequences of your actions, right? I keep telling Nick that like the more you do this shit, it's like a forbidden technique. Yes, it gets you engagement, but at what cost? Is it worth it? Future events, scenarios, more scandals, dramas, it's gonna get even worse because now people have more ammunition and receipts and they remember the baggage.
But from now on, you have to come to my fucking streams and give me money to get my opinions. It's as simple as that. I will use Twitter. I will use Twitter for my own audience, right? For example, live
Smart.
now on YouTube, talking about everything, reacting to Discord requests.
Cool.
Only using X to promote the streams. But guess what?
How long is he gonna last though? I wonder how long this is actually gonna last.
Then I'll delete that tweet.
All right.
Like I just did. You will never be able to farm a tweet of mine again because I'm not tweeting anything again.
1 week? 2 weeks? I mean, shit, he said he won't delete anything in the beginning of New Year's, right? He said, this is New Year, new me. I'm never going to delete anything. That lasted a month, though. He did delete a couple of things, but not like before, right? So, honestly, I'm pretty impressed how long he lasted. But this new iteration, I don't know how long it's going to last.
That is why I deleted everything. That is why. You got to come to the YouTube videos.
All right.
You got to come to the streams. And the streams, not the streams, the tweets that I would make, people would screenshot them
Yeah, they would.
and use them in Discord groups.
Yeah, my group, bro. As soon as you tweet, my monkeys literally screenshot and say, bro, look at this. Look what he said. Make a video about it. Yep. Yeah, that happens.
To find out more about me and my personal life.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to give you that chance now.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean, if you tweet something, it's public, right? So again, whether or not people are screenshotting or not, that's like you put your stuff out there, it's obviously going to happen, right? Especially for a content creator with 1 million+ subs.
You can go fuck yourself. Seriously. Nobody should be swatted. I don't agree with that. So if you...
I also think that, like, if you truly stand on your ideals and principles and you think that you can argue yourself out of it, you should stand confident on your tweets. If someone is screenshotting it, for example, right? Whatever people want to screenshot from me and they want to leak in their group chats and try to hate on me, great, go ahead. Make the post go viral. And then I'll come in because I know that whatever I do, I have good intents. I have no made up narrative that I'm walking backwards to. I'm here to find out every new time is a new fresh game, a new slate. All the baggage is removed. I look at the idea and I critically think and come to a conclusion. I'll show you the receipts. And through that, I'll get even more motion. Well-intentioned people, the average person understands, this is where this person is coming from. So again, as long as you're saying stuff that you truly believe in and you have good intentions, and you can argue why you're right, it can only work in your favor.
You have children in your house, you shouldn't be swatted. I don't know what that means. Swatting is illegal. Like a SWAT team come into your house because there's something going on in your house, I believe you should be swatted. When you're calling out for the assassination of people, I believe you should, or the law should intervene. Cops, whatever it is, should.
False swatting, I think, should get you in prison. Zero tolerance. Any calls to action for violence online and social media too, I think you should be fucking banned, deleted. 100%. You need to make people realize that there are consequences with actions. When people are not incentivized through consequences, they're gonna basically do whatever the fuck they want. Why do you think that person is so proudly, parading around saying, haha, I doxed Chibi, haha, and these are just retard children. They have no sense of like real life consequences. They never faced it. They're just a lonely ass loser, miserable kid online that has this parasocial relationship with Chibi, and they think Chibi is like the fucking antichrist, and they think they're doing justice by just swatting them. And many people think the same way, right? There's a lot of mentally ill retards online and you can't fix them, but I think there should be consequences to remove them.
Intervene. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But back to Chibi reviews. If you are, I want to make this clear to you guys. Listen, let's calm down a little bit. Guys, you got to let me rant. The watching anime days, only watching anime, those days are done. I want to make that clear.
Finally.
Those days are done. I am watching anime. I am playing games. I'm covering drama. I'm speaking my mind more. Do not tell me just watch anime.
Hell yeah, Nick. Let the monkeys know. That's right. You come in, you're demanding shit. Shut the fuck up and wait your turn.
I am done. I am done just doing that. I'm done with that. I'm doing variety.
Good.
I'm being way more outspoken.
Yes, but at the same time, you're gonna delete your tweets.
About my opinions. Right?
He's gonna be outspoken on his streams, his content, YouTube, and I think again that's smarter. How? Well, now it's contained. His ideas and thoughts are contained in his videos. The algorithm is not going to shoot it out to a bunch of random people that hates him on Twitter. I'm sure some people will clip shit from his YouTube content streams and post it on Twitter to get some bangers or whatever. But I do think that staying local to your community, you can call it an echo chamber, and it is. Everybody's community at the end of the day is an echo chamber. Because at the end of the day, you have one person speaking ideas and a group of people that agree with that. No shit. This is not a fault. It's by design.
I hope Chibi is okay. I hit him up. Listen, man. It's scary. It's fucking scary. You know what happens when you get swatted and you have an animal? That animal could be put down if that fucking animal attacks an officer.
Yeah, that's some America shit, bro. Straight up. I fear for my life. That chihuahua's growling at me. 5 bullets into the chihuahua. America, baby.
The officer could fucking shoot the animal. Imagine that. So
imagine that. Now here is an empathy for the animal. You know what? I got an idea. Let me just go to the bathroom. I'm gonna take a piss and then we're gonna explore this idea. This has to do with ICE and immigrants and animals and swatters. So this is not a gotcha moment, but let's explore this idea. Nicholas Light just expressed how fucked up it is that law enforcement can pull up off of false swatting and assassinate an animal because the officer might have felt that they were in danger of their life because the animal attacked. Okay, let's think about that. Why is he empathetic towards the animal in this instance rather than the immigrant who got shot up? Well, couple of reasons. I think the most important part is how the immigrant of context who was murdered is opposed to the law enforcement. The animal in the Chibi incident or the swatting incident, they're not doing any wrong. If you think that an animal growling and trying to bite a cop because a cop entered in, the animal is a fucking animal. They have no, like, oh my god, it's the fucking pigs. No, it's just acting out of instinct. So you can't really punish the animal for those sins. It's simply acting out of instinct. A human would know better to not go against law enforcement or to put other officers in danger. So I think that is the difference of why, right? The emotional appeal is not overridden with you opposing law enforcement.
When you're swatting somebody that has a pet, you're also potentially killing that person's pet. That's how far we're going with this shit. That's how far we're going with this shit right now. And it's fucking disgusting. And if you support that, if you are an account on Twitter, if you are a content creator that covers drama, I'm talking about all these fucking content creators that cover drama, not just anime drama. But if you say some shit like, he asked for this, Chibi Reviews asked for this, so everybody has to act a certain way, because if they don't, they will pay the price.
So he asked for this is a common thing, and even I think I've said this in the past of how Chibi's actions inevitably are going to create more haters. But this has nothing to do with really, well, it does have to do with the ideas presented. So here's the idea. You can't expect the world to be a good place and for people to be normal. They're going to be schizos and they're going to do whatever they want. So you have to act proactively. When you deal with controversial reasons like political opinions, right? And when you're outspoken, you're entering the gladiator arena. PvP has already been initiated. Whether you like it or not, that's it. You can't at that point be entitled and say, oh my god, I can't believe people would do this. If that's the case, get the fuck off the internet, right? So again, I don't agree with, oh my god, Chibi needs to censor himself. No. If you want to be outspoken off of your ideas that you believe in and create a movement or change people, right? Through the ideas that you truly believe in, go for it. But when you do this, you have to realize you have to fucking take care of yourself first, because when someone is, Chibi is compromised in his private information is public. So for him to go out and say more of this shit is beyond retarded. He has all the rights to say this, but he doesn't even have, like, basically he's going into PvP arena with no armor in. You know what I mean? Bro is fucking stripped naked, no armor, no weapon, going to the Coliseum, talking shit as he should. But then don't be surprised when you get fucking jumped because you're an easy target. That's what happens. So I think that everybody is asking for it when you engage in outspoken political ideologies, no matter what side of the spectrum, left or right. You need to understand that and take care of yourself. You can't expect people to cuddle around you and treat you nice. That's not how things work online. So again, he needs to fucking handle his privacy first. If he wants to continue down this quote unquote right-wing grift, go ahead. Be outspoken. But don't be surprised when you're getting ganged up because you have no armor in the fucking Coliseum.
You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to just be passionate about something you're into. And listen, man, you're not allowed to rage bait. You're telling me now, back in my day, when you rage baited people, you cursed each other out. You didn't try to get them fucking dead. You didn't.
Well, in the COD lobby, I'll probably say something like, fuck your mom, I fucked your mom, haha. And the other person will say, haha, I hope your newborn child gets cancer, haha. Yeah, fuck you too, buddy. Yeah, fuck you too, bro. If I knew where you were, I'd fucking fuck you up. Yeah, you gonna show up right now? Yeah, pussy. Show up, pussy. Oh, I have your address. I'm in front of your fucking garage. Listen. It's not like it's different. if you have someone's private information they can use as leverage, you find the right schizo, they're gonna fucking do it. It's not a generational difference. It's just that in the age of technology, things are more public than ever, more accessible than ever.
Assassinated. Who is Chibi Reviews? Anime channel. He's right. He's literally right there.
I do think it's gonna get worse. If he doesn't get himself out of there, I think it's gonna get worse and worse. I've been saying this shit for the last couple of years. And I don't want this to be a prophecy. I'm not trying to entice anyone to do it. I think Chibi should drop his law case, save up money, and get the fuck out of there. Straight up. There are no solutions at this point. This needs to be proactive. If you want to go down and play, you know, fucking dance with the devil with political commentary, you need to take care of your own first. You can't even do that. Again, he needs to drop the fucking law case, use all the money, fucking start a new GoFundMe. Genuinely start a new GoFundMe. I know it's ridiculous to say just move, but what other solutions are there at this point? The information is public. There's nothing he can do. There are genuinely no solutions other than get the fuck out.
He's right there. He's right next to me. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you dock somebody, I want you to shoot yourself in the fucking head eventually. And if you're not going to do that, you should be locked up for life. Not for a year, not for 2 years, not for 30 years, for fucking life. I'm disgusted by this.
The calls to action for violence, no matter how deplorable a person is, again, it's very dangerous shit. But I do agree that people, the person that swatted Chibi, there should be equivalent consequence. This person should be removed.
It happen to anybody with an opinion. Anybody with a fucking opinion, this could happen to. Anybody.
Not anybody. Specific people that toe the line and incite rhetorics that is volatile, no matter how much you believe in it. And on top of that, you have to have your private information leaked. Again, I think Asmongold says way more outrageous shit than Chibi could ever. But he's not in trouble. Why is that? There's a very clear difference. There's one thing, and the one thing is one person is compromising their private information, the other is not.
Come from a world where you're friends with people that you don't totally agree with everything on. I have friends I don't agree with everything with, on whatever. I have family I don't agree with on everything. I come from a world where you're allowed to disagree with each other. Isn't that crazy, guys? But nowadays, we live in a world where families will excommunicate you, or will not talk to you, or will start fights with you if you don't share the same political beliefs as them.
Yeah, it's getting nastier and nastier, huh? I don't know how Thanksgiving is for you guys, or holidays, where definitely the boomers get way more radicalized too. The boomers, I think, are the main audience, target audience for mainstream media. They have no capacity to do fact checking. Their brains are fucking dead. They eat up whatever is convenient to them and blame, you know, these different groups of people for their fucking problems. They get radicalized, and then they get really into it.
Or the same whatever beliefs as them. Religious beliefs I understand in a way. But when you are ruining relationships, friendships, because of politics, I am sorry. And this is probably controversial to say too. Politics don't matter that fucking much that it should put your relationships and friendships at risk.
Kaka, new 5-hour video being mentioned. So, repeat that talking point again.
Politics don't matter. And this is probably controversial to say too. Politics don't matter that fucking much that it should put your relationships and friendships at risk.
Yeah. It's so difficult though, right? Because this, again, the worse things get, the more this problem gets exaggerated. Back in the day, again, right? It's like a congested server. It's like a video game. It's like an MMO, and it's like a server getting more and more congested with problems arising. You have massive fucking bots and, you know, bot accounts. Basically, they could be the illegal immigrants. I don't know. Bot accounts flooding the fucking servers and doing scams and whatever. You have locals not being taken, you know, care of. The top 1% hoarding all the resources. Again, the more worse the problems are, the more politics is going to be at play. Because politics, what is politics? Most people can't even define politics. In my opinion, politics is simply a discourse in how people perceive life through their experiences. Right? It is the difference of ideology. That's why politics is inherently in everything. When I say anime is inherently political, it doesn't mean that it's a political think piece in front of your fucking face. what the fuck is the politics in a harem, show pandering towards fucking virgins? But if you look at anything that has involved human beings and decisions being made off of what their value systems are and other people disagreeing with that, that's what politics is. And when the state of the world gets worse and worse with the two-party system that keeps people divided by woke identity, culture, politics, of course that said politics is going to become more significant to the point that people and family and relationships are being torn apart because they think you're on that side or you're on this side. They cannot escape from tribalism. They fixate on these talking points that they've been told from other people, politicians, TV, news media.
I'm sorry. I have my own life, my own family to care about, to worry about. You'll be fucking damned. I'd be damned before I let politics and the world come between that. Fuck the world. I have my own world to deal with. That's how I feel. And if you have a problem with that, if you want me to have a certain opinion on something, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Maybe I'm not the most educated on stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not the most educated when it comes to politics, when it comes to
You don't need to be honest, Nick. I think a lot of people can already tell.
ICE, when it comes to this, when it comes to that. I feel like I'm still allowed to have a general opinion.
Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but is anyone really expecting critical fucking political commentary from Nicholas Light, the famous analytical, fucking intellect, the Socrates of our generation? No, right? But I do think he has good gut instincts at times. These are instincts and values that sometimes a calculating robot can't understand. I do think he has good intentions. It's just that he gets caught up in this tribalism a lot.
Opinion that will grow the more I learn about the subject.
Sure.
Right? I don't need to be a fucking scholar on politics to say I fucking hate somebody.
Yeah, just like you don't need to be a fucking chef to say this food is bad. Again, the anime criticism thing, you don't need to be a fucking animator to understand why the anime is bad in One Punch Man Season 3. Yeah, I get it.
That's in office or some shit. And no matter what anybody says, before you think I'm a Trump supporter, I am not a Trump supporter. I want to make that clear. God damn, I'm not a fucking left-wing supporter either. I don't support anything on the fucking left. Anybody in power. Biden, I didn't support that either. I have beliefs that are right-wing and left-wing.
Yes.
Right? For example, and I've said this before, and people will say, oh, saying you're true neutral means you're too afraid to say you're right-wing.
No. You exist in a world where it can only be left or right. Therefore, if somebody is able to pick up values off of, their good judgment system, suddenly it's a fence sitter. No. You are operating in this two-dimensional line of left versus right. I'm saying break that fucking line and think in three-dimensional. Straight up. You're so stuck in you're a centrist, you're a fence sitter. No, I don't identify as anything. Like, holy shit. Redo of Healer, by the way. So I'm just trying to give you a visible example of it, right? Because many people exist really like this. They can only think in such a fixed way. Because why? Because the system is literally designed to make you think this way. It's left versus right. And of course, there's going to be, if you think in a dichotomy of left versus right, of course, there's going to be a halfway point, right? There's a lot of people that are all across the political spectrum, right? I think people around here are definitely like well-intentioned people that wants like universal basic free care, healthcare. You want like good education. You want, affordability. Everyone wants affordability, but right, basically like, but the more that you go here, this is like straight up, you're masking up and try to incite violence, calling other people Nazis when they may not be, right? And the same shit happens here too. They could be real fucking Nazis, right? Politics exist on a spectrum of what's more left or more right. These are left and right absolutely do exist, right? I'm not saying this is not real, but when you're bound by this simple two-dimensional line, and I look at an example, right? Every time, a lot of people, they can only think of these values here. They only are able to think of these values or just these values. That's it. They won't even try to explore options here because they immediately say, no, that's our enemy. It's the same shit here too. You have to realize life is a lot more complicated, and you need to be able to pick the right solution for the right problem. And when you're bound by such bullshit like this, nothing gets done. Get rid of that shit. None of that matters. What matters is that you exist in a different plane of dimension of thinking where you can confidently pick out ideas from both left and right. Sometimes it's more left, sometimes it's more right. Sometimes it's only right, sometimes it's only left, right? Because problems are not monolithic. It's not just one thing. They're constantly evolving. And as the state of our lives and society changes, you're going to have different solutions. But so many people are captivated by this. And the moment that you try to seek out actual fucking pragmatic solutions, you're labeled as a fence sitter. No. I'm not. I think it's brave to be able to pick ideas without being bound by left or right, because now you're being ostracized by both of the two different wings of the same bird. This is actually how people need to think rather than being, again, captured by this tribalism.
I'll straight up say it. If I was a political, like, into politics, I'd probably sway more towards the right. I probably would. But then you have stuff on the left that I agree with. Like, I believe in, and wow, people might get offended by this. Whoa, I believe in abortion. Whoa, does that offend you? If it does, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you.
It's not about being neutral. I keep seeing, dub-centrist neutral opinions. These are not neutral opinions. When I am picking what I think the solution should be off of a value system that is not bound by each side, that's not neutral. I'm pointing the way, right? So many people think that it's just left versus right. Sometimes I'm going to go in this fucking direction. Maybe I'll go in this direction. You need to think three-dimensionally. Like this is not safe pickings. It's about not being limited in your solutions because of an ideology that captured you.
I have family that agrees with it. I have family that disagrees with it. And I'm done. I'm done keeping my mouth fucking shut, bro. Seriously. Listen, guys, I'm wrong about a lot of things, but you have to let me grow. You have to let me learn about things. You have to let people grow and learn about things. Don't fucking assassinate people because you don't agree with them. At the end of the day, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. We all have our own fucking opinions when it comes to politics in the world. Listen, man, I don't care where you're from. You could be from Russia. You could be from Ukraine. You could be from Palestine. You could be from fucking Israel. I don't give a fuck. If you watch me, I respect you. As long as you're not doing anything weird. I don't care where you're fucking from. I'm not gonna hate anybody.
Okay.
I love my Muslim supporters, my Christians, the Jewish supporters.
Yeah?
My Muslim supporters, my Christians, the Jewish supporters.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I love all of you. And if that fucking bothers you.
I don't love all of you. I don't know who you are. There could be ops watching this. There could be people waiting for me to slip up. There could be people that have really fucking terrible shit on their minds, but they choose to watch my content for entertainment. And as long as you can separate the content from my personality, great, right? But like, I don't know who you are. How could I ever fucking know that, right? There could be fucking schizos. There could be actual pedos watching Nick. He doesn't know that, right?
You don't belong here. You don't belong here. I respect everybody until they give me a reason not to respect them.
That
and
sounds
people
good.
Want to hate me. They want to hate people like Chibi for the reasons why we rage bait and the reasons why we get in so much drama. Ask yourself this: who started it? I'm sorry, but when I was reacting to K-pop back in the day, and I was
who started it is a terrible again. I really enjoy Nick's enlightenment here in not being bound by a political spectrum and being able to pick off of his own value system. But again, when you start saying who started it, it again creates this like narrative of like one side is wrong.
I was glazing the fuck out of BTS, and then people hated on me right away because I was getting attention. They hated me for what? Because
you're popular. And the more popular you get, the bigger target is on your back, especially the way that you portray yourself, where you're making outrageous fake reactions, and then people have an even more incentive to hate on you after a bigger target has been created on your back.
A YouTuber, I was popular, and then guess what? It makes me pissed off. I start saying crazy shit. Why do I say that crazy shit?
Because in your gut instinct, you have recognized that controversy by saying crazy shit is how you actually make motion in content creation. It's that simple.
There's only so much somebody can take. And over time, I get into more and more shit because people get more hateful about people like me.
I think this is kind of a loser mindset in the way that he is giving his criticizers power, his haters power, and saying, you made me do this. That's not how you should frame yourself. If anything, if you wanted to double down on why you're saying controversial shit, you should say it because you understand that there's a lot of people who hate on me for the values that I have, and I'm going to continue just being me, and you're going to basically cry about it, and I'm going to, I don't know, that's kind of doing it for them, right? I think the whole, like, I'm doing it for my haters is a very, like, poor loser mindset. You should be doing it for yourself.
So when I say crazy shit, when I go after One Punch Man, when I go after animators and shit, ask yourself this: why do I do it?
Because you're hurt, and hurt people hurt others. Just like Mekamaru versus Panda in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. What does Mekamaru say? I got fucked up. My life is ruined. People completely, the heavenly restriction fucked me over. And I hate everything, therefore I'm going to be hateful to you. And what does Panda say? Your hardship is not a justification to be nasty to others. Nick right now, I think, is not understanding that lesson.
Why do I do it? I don't blame myself. You created this fucking monster, and now you gotta deal with it.
You created this monster. Nah, I don't like that, right? Again, it's giving power to your haters. You should own up to the monster that you've become and say it's because I want to be this way rather than making excuses of, because then it kind of also means that the shit that you say, you don't even mean, right? You're basically saying all your controversial takes, you don't even believe in that shit. Now you're kind of eating into that whole, you're making the people that call you a grifter kind of be more correct, right? The phrasing and the structuring of his justification for the way he acts, I think, is not coming out strong.
You poke the bear, and now you're complaining about getting the claws? Motherfucker, don't poke the bear.
Well, fuck around and find out, right? You clap at me, I'm gonna clap back. Don't cry about it, right? But I think what Nicholas Light does is beyond just kind of like silence the haters, but more of like putting oil on the fire and creating bigger controversies.
Bear's just doing his own thing. He's hunting for food, trying to provide for his family. Politics is the craziest thing. And dare I say, you will lose a family member or a relationship for politics before you lose it with religion.
Religion is also politics, though. Religion is definitely a subset of politics. There's a lot of religious strife happening because of different values. Sorry, political strife happening because of difference in religious values. Like if you just look at Israel and Palestine, for example, right? At the end of the day, well, let's keep seeing what he says.
Have completely surpassed religion when it comes to things we don't talk to other people about. When people want you to speak about something, they don't want you to have your own opinion. They want you
to parrot what they believe in. That's right. People want to see others say talking points that they themselves believe in. And grifters can identify that, find a market, and say those talking points without actually believing in it.
To say what they want you to say. It's as real as that.
It's the same thing with anime reactions too, or content creation in a nutshell. Content creators are simply a voice of their audience, and the more that you understand your audience and basically deliver on what they expect, maybe the better you can get aligned with that.
And I can't say it more clear than that. They don't want you to have your own opinion, right? For example, I was watching the Grammys. You had Billie Eilish, that fucking moron, walk on stage and virtue signal.
Yeah.
You had all these motherfuckers virtue signaling.
The context is millionaire, out of touch actors and actresses vouching for the working class, saying you have all this money, why do you still engage in capitalism, do all that shit? And then you have other hit pieces like Billie Eilish's, like, you know, very capitalist coded advertisement for her product that she's doing on a different post. And then there's this it's kind of like how when Hassan or Pokimane says, think about the average working person when they are just millionaires living in their gated communities, right? That's why it is virtue signaling, because, well, at the end of the day, do they really believe in it? Virtue signaling, again, is another flavor of grifting. Again, saying something that you don't really believe in because there's a market of an audience that exists for that. In my opinion, virtue signaling can be done in a productive way, And the fact that Billie Eilish is using her platform and voice to speak about the unjust, no matter how hypocritical it is, the outcome is more visibility on that stuff. So it's actually pretty good. It feels weird though, right? It feels very fucking performative. I know. But it's kind of like the Emiru stuff too, where people are saying you're LARPing, you don't even know shit about Chainsaw Man. Who the fuck is Asa? But what is the goal of a cosplayer and Emiru at that point? To give you an in-depth analysis of Chainsaw Man, or to be the face of Chainsaw Man cosplaying, bringing eyes to it, and then more people are introduced to that series. So again, a lot of the times, I try to really think about what the outcome was. What actually happened? Yeah, virtue signaling happened, but did it actually help people? It's like Mr. Beast when he is going to a homeless person with the phone in their face saying, you have to cry now, say thank you for the money. He's trying to make a video, right? It's fucked up. There's a lot of people also say, if you're just going to help the homeless people, why are you doing this shit on camera? Do it off camera, because it feels very performative and LARPing. But at the end of the day, the homeless guy got $1,000. Shit. So at the end of the day, like, virtue signaling can be done in a productive way.
All these motherfucking artists, these pieces of shit, these hypocrites. No illegals on stolen land. If it's stolen land, then why don't you give it back to them, Billie Eilish? Why don't you give up your $1 billion fucking mansion, Billie?
That's the other talking point, right? Of people saying, oh my God, all these immigrants are coming in, illegally, and they're ruining it for the locals. And then they'll say, who were the true locals, right? Right? That's why they say that talking point.
Eilish, why don't you do that? If you truly believe that, live what you speak. Don't speak so you can live. And then Jelly Roll.
But here's the example, right? I agree that the virtue signaling at the Grammys becomes itself very performative and unappealing. But what would you have them say instead? Nothing, I guess, right? Because like the opposite of this, what if these millionaires were like, oh my God, these poor people are probably watching us at home, huh? What a bunch of fucking losers. Anyways, here's a bunch of money I made from you fucking poors. Thank you, man. Now you are basically assuming the worst of the rich person who doesn't care about the poor. That's not really good either, right? So I think we're looking for, just say nothing, right? Instead of trying to be performative, pretending like you are the working class, don't say anything. But again, that outcome is you feeling good. You know what I mean? Nicholas Light now hears from these out of touch people, not harping talking points, trying to help the common person. Okay. But what's the outcome there? I would rather have the virtue signaling happen such that there is more visibility and awareness in the wealth gap.
Does anybody know who Jelly Roll is? Jelly Roll.
Who's Jelly Roll? Is he the fat white rapper who's like 40 something years old that showed up and just like had a hit piece and yeah, that guy?
Gets on stage and he gets so much shit online.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't virtue signal. Because he doesn't talk about ICE or what's going on around the world.
So like artists, content creators, celebrities will get captured by an audience that think like, oh, Jelly Roll must be left-leaning. Why aren't you using your platform to basically repeat and be the voice of our talking points, right? That's what they're upset about.
He thanks God. You can't even thank God nowadays. You can't even celebrate Christmas nowadays.
Wallahi!
You can't even say Merry Christmas nowadays.
Happy holidays!
Isn't that fucking crazy? No. Everybody in his chat, Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
I think that if you get mad at somebody saying Merry Christmas, you're fucking retarded. I think a lot of people default onto Happy Holidays in order to not step on other people's toes, but I don't like that. Basically, the idea is people should be able to celebrate whatever holidays and beliefs that they believe in without censoring the others. Christians and whatever people that believes in Christmas, they can say Merry Christmas, go ahead. But if you're opposed to that religion or faith and you say, you can't say that in front of me, I'm of this faith, fuck you. You can celebrate what you want, you can say what you want, but don't try to censor others and try to make them coddle around your personal beliefs. That's not coexisting. You're trying to bend over a different group of people to serve your personal needs.
Even though it's 2 months late, Merry Christmas. And if that offends you, Merry motherfucking Christmas. Jelly Roll getting all that hate for preaching Jesus shows everything you need to know about this country. Exactly. Now, what if somebody, and I'm not even Christian, I'm not even religious. I'm getting into it, right? Let me fix.
You're getting into it. Nicholas Light Christian arc incoming, bro. Oh man, the bingo card. It's just one of the most obvious things that happens whenever people go into right-wing commentary, grifting, whatever you want to say, is when they convert their faith to Christianity. Tectone, exactly. Nah, I'm not saying he's a grifter, but Nick, I'm saying the jokes write themselves. This is like Lakari, the PDF file getting caught with fucking blue archive animations playing on the side of his stream while he's justifying how he doesn't goon to lollies, man. Like, you can't make that shit up. Be right back. Here's another question. Why is Christianity so tightly coupled with right-wing or MAGA movements? What's up with that? Right? Why are and that also confuses me. You would think that the Bible and Jesus Christ's teachings, right? They're not really saying hate on immigrants and be racist and, you know, like if Jesus Christ was a person, I feel like the last thing he would be is a MAGA supporter. Traditionalist belief. That's right, because the right side, the conservatives, right? The Republicans, one of the more defining traits of them is they can't really escape from traditions and cultures, right? They have kind of oppose progress and value the history and the culture, and Christianity is kind of more rooted in it's weird. The more I think about it, it's just like, how the fuck is Donald Trump your savior as a Christian person? Like, this dude just held up the Bible the wrong way and try to say like he's God. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't get it.
What I said earlier, I have beliefs everywhere. I believe that there's a higher power, right? I believe in that.
Sure.
But I feel like it's going to be a journey and really devoting myself to something if I ever.
Nick, you should, fuck Christian, bro. Be a cult leader like me. Converting your faith to Christianity to farm that audience is weak mindset. The higher power is you. The Church of Nicholas Light. How about that, huh?
I may not. But at the end of the day, it's a journey that I'm excited about, right? I may not believe anything in the end, but that's all up to me. So you're agnostic? I'd say so. Yeah, but I respect religions.
Sure.
As long as you're not doing weird shit, I respect your religions. But what if?
I also think that there is a correlation with religion and people that are gullible. I'm not saying that people who have faith are stupid inherently, but I do think that the type of person that seeks out redemption through Christianity are people who are desperate because of their past sins, or people who are really stupid and misguided. They want to be told how to behave. They want to be told how to behave. And another thing is like the whole guilt tripping thing of your salvation, eternal salvation, that one day, reckoning day, judgment day will come, and those who are not of the faith, you know, will be punished, and those who have, you know, basically believed and have been a good boy, you basically go to heaven in eternal youth, right? It's kind of like Christmas, but on steroids, right? You a bad boy in Christmas, you're getting coals. You a good boy, you're getting presents, right? That fear and keeping people kind of like rounded up, and unintelligent people who are not able to critically think and being caught up in the guilt trip, I think kind of creates this like environment where they're easily misled, easily blinded by faith. Doesn't mean they're all stupid, but I do notice that correlation. I think that faith, religion, at the end of the day, I'm not a religious person. I used to go to church every Sunday as growing up. in my hometown because we went to a Korean church. Basically, Korean churches are kind of a way for immigrants to kind of like network and get to know each other. And it's very important for new immigrants who don't really speak English, don't really have a network, right? People, right? And some of those times were genuinely one of the best times of my life. A lot of the different families and friends and camping trips and excursions, ski trips, you know, I've already said camping, intramural sport. There are a lot of good times. Regarding the religious faith, they didn't really care or really believed in it. You know how I am. I probably confronted the pastor about, how did Moses really split the seas? What do you fucking mean? Do you know how old this world really is? Like, basically, I'd be a little shitter and trying to contest the pastor on like all these things that just are scientifically, you know, very questionable. But even then, what I really enjoyed was the community aspect of it, and a belief system that makes people want to be good people. And I think those are positives of religion. It doesn't matter if God is real or not. It doesn't matter. I think that religion and communities can, if they help you find your own like people and you want to be a better person, and this gives you this like sense of community again, as well as just like trying to be a good person, I think that that's great. You're free to worship whatever you want, be free, but as long as like there's like a good outcome, then I'm like, hey, let's go. Even if I may not believe in God, let's go.
Jelly Roll went up there and said like some shit, like anti-Christian shit. You think he'd be getting all this shit? Allow people to grow, allow people's opinions to change over time. My opinion changes almost every day. One second I agree with something, next second I disagree with it. You know what I mean? Like the whole.
And this doesn't have to do with like, oh, you have no spine. I think context matters when you are wishy-washy. People can tell when you're wishy-washy, but when you're actually educating yourself with open mind and you have good intents, people can also kind of understand where you're coming from.
Lolly situation, the whole lolly conversation. I used to say, oh, they're all drawings. Now I'm like, I don't know about that anymore. Nick, I am a Muslim. With it. You know what I mean? Like the whole lolly situation, the whole lolly conversation. I used to say, oh, they're all drawings. Now I'm like,
Tourist, bro, what happened? He went from a based anime enjoyer that's able to separate fiction from reality, and now he's trying to be like Tectone, where Tectone's straight up. Tectone is so funny to me when he talked about the lolly stuff and tried to give an example of like an adult body, but like a baby age, like an android, like the Majin fucking girl, and said like, we need different terms. He's like, yo, we need like different terms, terminology to differentiate, you know, lollies that I would go into and lollies that I wouldn't. And I'm like, that is the most fucking tourist leftist belief that you could possibly have. Because again, he doesn't have fucking principles. He just is a grifter that's looking for the safe opinion to whatever crowd is appeasing him at that moment, right? It's crazy to me that this Giga Chad American right-wing, God-fearing nationalist Christian, whatever, is supposed to be like not even a tourist of anime, would have the talking points of an actual fucking tourist.
I don't know about that anymore. Nick, I am a Muslim who respects other religions. You choose what religion you want to be in, and I respect that.
Sure.
I really fucking love that about you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Fucking facts you're speaking, Nick. How hollow must one be to base one's identity and passion on one's affiliation, political, religious, or whatnot, to ostracize loved ones just because of a label? Now, religious reasons I do understand in a way, like somebody that is like super into being Muslim or super being into Christian, they might just want to associate themselves with people of that religion, but that doesn't mean
very dangerous in my opinion. Very dangerous. Religion like this is a textbook example of how you engage in even more tribalism, groupthink. Using religion as a team, you are now never even contesting the ideas presented. You just follow the herd like a sheep because religion is an absolute card you can play here. I don't like that.
Disrespect others. So I agree with you in a way. I know what you mean, though. I know what you're talking about.
Religion shouldn't have some sort of higher precedence or a get out of free jail card when engaging in tribalism. Again, another common tool used to divide or group up people into thinking one specific way. It doesn't help humanity. All it does is isolate and segregate off of differences.
I just hate this fucking world we live in where there's only one safe opinion you could have. And if you do not have that safe opinion, you are ostracized, you are crucified.
No, there are opinions that you can have that's going to get you ostracized from any spectrum of community. This is not right-wing people being condemned by the left only. Left-wing people get condemned by the right as well. This happens across the entire place. Just because something is happening so dearly to you, right? Chibi is a friend. He is of the same political spectrum alignment, and because it happened to him, it feels more significant. And because of that, he can't rationalize numbers at scale or other examples that may even refute his logic. Hassan and Asmongold being an example. And then what do? Logically understand what is the missing variable. The private information being compromised for Chibi. It's that simple.
I don't like that. I did not like that Charlie Kirk got assassinated. But if you do, it's your fucking opinion. Just don't hate me for mine. Don't kill me for my fucking opinion. All right? Isn't that crazy? Don't kill me for having an opinion. Don't.
And now people will say, because Nicholas Light and Chibi have been pro-ICE and ICE agents are murdering immigrants to the leftist ideals, basically they're going to say, you had no empathy for them, why would they have empathy for you? I'm not saying this is correct, but this is how people behave, and you need to navigate yourself around that. Crying and pleading for people to be good people is not going to change anything. Nick does this a lot where he is right. People need to be better. Yet at the same time, that's not how the internet works. And in fact, it's gonna, again, just make things even worse for other people around.
Kill me because I think One Piece is better than Naruto. Believe it or not, for a lot of anime fans on Twitter, they might find that reasons to kill somebody for an opinion about anime. If you support ICE, if you hate ICE, I don't give a fuck. You have your beliefs, I have mine. And I'm not gonna disrespect you for your beliefs unless you disrespect me for mine. It's insane how the world is divided nowadays. It'll forever be divided. It's only gonna get worse and worse. And then I see who makes fun of shit like this, and then you look at their bios and their
pronouns and flag and bio
preaching free this country, free that country, love and support, peace, fuck ICE. Yeah, you're doing just as bad, mother.
Yeah, most likely those flags are Ukraine, Palestine. Absolutely liberate them. Definitely more people who are on the left part of the spectrum. When they are talking about peace for them, they don't care about peace for you, because you are opposed to them in their political spectrum. You are positive towards ICE, and ICE are killing immigrants. And in their absolute view of the world, immigrants are innocent, and ICE are a bunch of thugs murdering people out of racism. This is how they think. Therefore, you deserve to die based off of their beliefs. This is how the radicals think.
Motherfucker, you're trying to get somebody killed that did nothing wrong. So who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy?
Doesn't matter who's good or bad, because the outcome is still Chibi getting doxxed and getting sent death threats. Straight up, moralities and ethics doesn't matter here. Chibi needs to stop his lawsuit, save up money, start a new GoFundMe to relocate his family, get the fuck out of there.
It's clear to me. Using your voice to speak out against the worst part of society is crucial. Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that controversial, honestly, to just say, let people have their opinions. Unless you're saying some shit like, Epstein ain't that bad of a guy. If you're saying...
A lot of losers online definitely are saying Epstein had a lot of aura. His new interview that came out, it was very charismatic. I'm not gonna lie. Andrew Tate, like that interview, he was such a well-spoken person and so calculating. And it's like the genie or like the wizard, you know, the curtain being lifted and there is an actual fucking wizard explaining you how things are working, right? A lot of people, when they confuse well-spoken person with confidence as like sheer charisma and aura, these are kind of losers, right? Because even people like Andrew Tate will go out and say like Epstein basically created a legacy. This guy did all this shit and you will all amount to nothing. And I'm like, yeah, what was the legacy? Him being a fucking pedophile? Like that's not a dub, bro. Notoriety through that, like plenty of people have, like that's like equivalent of saying Johnny Somali got a bigger dub than any other fucking streamer because more people know about him. What did he do, right? So to completely ignore the actual context that happened to get them in the spotlight and then to herald them as winners in life, what a fucking retarded framework of life they live in.
Don't clip that. If you're saying some shit like that, I think that's grounds for it. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I want anything to do with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is fucking crazy. Do you think this will ever get better or will it only get worse? It'll only get worse.
And the really ironic thing about Nick is I don't think he realizes that he's part of the problem or the system that I call it, right? I think he's definitely getting closer of escaping it, but he still gets trapped. He has said that he's not left-leaning or right-leaning. He wants to be able to pick his own values not bound by such spectrum. Yet he goes on to then articulate and creates narratives that only one side is attacking. It's bad off of his one little extreme like outlier case without being able to rationalize everything else. So again, doing this shit is going to divide more, and then problems get even worse. What you need to do is open people's like mind up to the reality that we live in and how we're controlled, and that you need to stop thinking of it's only the left, it's only the right. No, we are common human people that have a lot more in common with each other than other people. In fact, I don't think it should even be like a racism issue. It should be like a class issue, right? There's a lot of division, I think, and more like solidarity between people of the same class. But unfortunately, that's the last thing the government wants to happen. The worst thing that can happen for the American government is for the average person to be able to escape the crutches of mainstream media dividing them off of identity politics, to be educated to critically think about what's going on. Instead, what are they doing? Arguing about trans athletes, talking about, you know, trans women in fucking bathrooms. Yeah, they're fucking stupid, but this is such an insignificant thing happening that just instills such schizophrenia in the average person. They don't even realize what the true issue is, and we get caught up in that. We're literally busy arguing amongst ourselves and caught up because we're too fucking retarded to understand how life actually works. And because the system is intentionally designed like this, more people are going to fall into it. The average education IQ is going down. People are unable to think critically, and nothing will get better. It's going to get worse. Absolutely.
People are going to continue getting doxxed. People are going to continue being assassinated for having an opinion. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing this to suck my own cock, to jerk myself off, but you need people like me to say this shit.
I do agree because of his platform, and he is outspoken, and I think he's getting better. I just would love him to realize that he's still stuck. Like, he's still kind of in that genjutsu. He's really close. He's like 80% out in my opinion. I think that what happened with Chibi as a close friend was so personal that he's kind of blinded by that. He doesn't have clear eyes just yet, but he's really fucking close.
People that are in between, not someone that's radicalized on either side. I just believe in respecting people, right? Stop disrespecting people. And listen, man, I could be hypocritical with that shit. I've disrespected people in my life.
People are hypocrites. I've been a hypocrite too.
All I could do is learn from that and be better and be a better person. We've all disrespected people. We've all done something wrong. And I'm just going to learn from my mistakes.
Sure.
Yeah. That whole One Punch Man drama, guess what?
You learned.
I said some shit that I later said to myself, like, shit, I took it too far. I am not going to apologize.
There it is, right? And it's nice to understand and at least recognize that. Even if he's saying this just because of the backlash happening and he wants to recover from it, the fact that he's even saying it is more than I would have ever expected.
The people, when these people don't want an apology, I'll apologize to you guys that watch me, that come to the streams, that come to my channel. I'm not going to apologize to people that don't want an apology from
the Twitter accounts that dunk on Nick and think the absolute worst. If he apologized, those Twitter accounts just say he's just saying that because the drama is over and he just wants to get into good graces and that he doesn't truly believe it and that he's just a liar. That's what they say. Yeah, you're fucked if you do, fucked if you don't.
People from me. All they want is to feel bigger than me. And I'm not going to give you that opportunity. I could be sorry about the whole One Punch Man drama. You'll never know. I am not going to bend the knee to these motherfuckers. Even Sydney Sweeney called her a racist because she admits she's not a politic. Oh, people called her a racist? Didn't they call her racist a Nazi because she was wearing jeans or some shit? That's crazy. These people are fucking crazy. They are psychopaths. Feels like you can't have an opinion these days.
You can have an opinion. It's just that a lot of people don't argue in good faith with their opinions and have already been radicalized, and they want to act as a victim off of some talking points and just label you as the worst thing possible.
You could, as long as it's the safe opinion. I could sit here easily and say, fuck Trump, fuck ICE, free this, free that.
People in your chat are going to spam L though if you've grounded up that audience, especially if, imagine if Tectone said this, you know what I mean? I don't agree with this. If Tectone said this, do you think his audience that are just fucking right-wing copers right now would say dub Tectone? They're gonna eat him up. So again, it's about what kind of people you have. Like, what is your history? What's your like acclamation in the environment that you're in?
This flag, that flag, Fuck AI. Fuck pedophiles. Fuck rapists. Yeah, I do believe in some of those. I could sit here and
What do you mean some of those?
just say the safest, most basic fucking bullshit. The water is wet. The sky is blue. The earth is not, the earth is
Flat.
round. It's not flat. What? Oh my God. There's two genders. Whoa, whoa.
He's looking more like Kim Jong-un again. Why does he do this with his hair, bro? Why does it keep having North Korean dictator hairstyle? Why does he keep combing it over?
Whoa, wait there, bud.
Like straight up, this is Kim Jong-un. How many times do I have to keep saying Kim Jong-un hair? Bro. Why? I don't get it. It's the telephone fucking hair. Why?
What do you mean by that? Nick's forehead is huge. Wow. Oh yeah. Breaking news, guys. My
Oh, it's worse than I thought. Oh no. Oh no, he's balding. Oh, Nick, you gotta get on Propecia. He probably is on it, bro. You gotta get on that shit. If you're not on hair loss, brother Christ, this is Asmongold all over. Oh my God, Asmongold in Nintendo 64 hairline. Oh no, what are we doing, bro? It's this shit. Hold up. Let me bring this up. I guarantee you could put a fucking Nintendo 64 controller over this head and it's gonna be, oh, what the fuck, Nick? He's hiding it a lot better than I thought, but Jesus Christ.
hair is receding. Everybody act surprised in chat. Yesterday.
That's the video. TLDR, Nicholas Light's balding. And on a more serious note, I'm actually very impressed at Nicholas's awareness to be able to discern his judgment, not bound by political spectrum. Because there's a lot of people that I think he looks up to, like Tectone, that does engage in that behavior. Regarding Chibi, it's very sad what happened, and it should have never happened. He's not asking for it, but again, his actions inevitably will create more of those haters. Should people behave better and not ever do such nasty things like doxing? Of course, but that's not how the world works, especially with a controversial content creator who has a lot of baggage. So the only solution right now is for Chibi to get the fuck out of there. It's easier said than done, but this isn't really telling a homeless person to just get a house. He has the resources in the community, I think, that could round up enough resources to actually get the fuck out of there. This could lead into a scandal of Chibi scammed, his community from a house or whatever. But again, I'm going to go in with good intents and good faith that he won't do that. I think that if he truly wants to continue his career of being an outspoken commentator about controversial issues, first thing he needs to do is realize that you can't enter a gladiator arena without no armor. That's what he's doing. He's entering into the arena with no armor and expecting things to change. What are you fucking doing? This is obviously going to get you fucking flamed. I disagree with the fact that this is a one-sided issue. Nick the entire time was trying to create this narrative that this only happens to right-wing people who say anti-left-wing topics. No, that's not the case at all. Hassan and Asmongold are two, spectrums on each, definitely more outrageous, more ridiculous than Chibi, opposing the political spectrum, and they don't get into that shit as much. Why? Because they keep their privacy a lot more secured. It's not anyone gets shit on for having opinions. It's that anyone that has been compromised with their security details will have even more consequences of those opinions. And if you can't handle it, again, you got to get the fuck out of the kitchen. I'm at least glad that Nick is understanding that there is more to it than just left versus right. It's just, he's really close. And regarding the whole Christian thing, if he actually does turn into a Christian person, that's only going to happen, I think, off of a drama that really gets him fucked up. The pattern of behavior that I notice for content creators to go into Christianity to change faith is very calculating and specific, especially after a huge controversy. So keep that in mind. And he's balding. That's it from me. See you next time.